ban. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Radiant team ban.
It's okay. Not a big deal.
Dire team ban.
I just work off of this and it's fine. What's that? Oh, they already started, so I'll just get in for game 2.
Radiant team ban.
Look, I mean, it's at full draft.
Dire team pick.
Treant Protector.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Behold the horn of Magnus.
Juggernaut.
Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Beastmaster.
Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
What? Huh?
Crystal Maiden.
Dire
Disruptor.
Radiant team pick.
Disruptor!
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Bounty Hunter.
Dire team pick.
Timber Saw!
Radiant team ban.
Maggerness.
10 seconds remaining.
Maggerness Juggernaut. What a normal draft.
5 seconds remaining.
What do you think about the Disruptor pick?
Reserve time.
I mean, I kind of like it with Treant, but you still have to make sure you're like aggressive enough to make sure.
Healing ward is up. Can't glim. Jugger has a blink. He can.
Dire team ban. Dire team pick.
Not Treant Protector.
Ten seconds remaining.
Bye-bye intent.
5 seconds remaining.
That well in lane.
Reserve time.
Templar Assassin.
Radiant team pick.
Oh, a burning card. How hype.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. 10 seconds remaining.
Shadow Fiend.
I don't hear anything, by the way.
Me neither.
I'm sure we'll notice when it throws. Is that my cue? All right, that's my cue, I think. Welcome, everybody, to the first game of the main event here at Kiev. Very exciting stuff. Kiev, beautiful city. Very hype crowd so far, and what a great match to start it, right? Mousesports facing up against Invictus
10
Gaming. We
seconds
saw their
remaining.
Boston run. Obviously, Mouz definitely took advantage of that
5
single
seconds
elimination
remaining.
format. They flourished under that, but they may this time around feel its unforgiving bite.
Yeah, I think pretty important game for Mouz in general. Like, most people consider them definitely the underdogs going into this matchup in general, but this is their opportunity to show that Boston wasn't basically. Because since Boston, Mouse's results have been pretty much abysmal relative to how well they placed at Boston. Unfortunately for them, they kind of have one of the favorites of the tournament as their first matchup.
Yeah.
And IG, I think, was really, really strong. It's hard from maybe been shaking in secret while I was in there, but they still will be difficult to deal with, I think. Here, we're gonna see.
What do you think about like playstyle wise? What do you think that Mouz has brought so far to the group stage that hasn't really, what do you think specifically that hasn't gone right for them? Like, what is it about Mouz that just doesn't seem to be clicking anymore?
I don't know, I'm not sure their drafting has been as sharp as other teams. Obviously, I think the game that is worth coming back to is the game against B, the third game, which actually decided Mouz's seeding to being a 1-3 team instead of a 2-2 team. The matchup that they had against Newbie, they had a 20K lead at 25 minutes or something like that, a huge advantage, and they managed to throw that away. It's a bit worrying if you're a team that wants to place high and you don't close out games that are easy for you, because then if you don't have the best start, can you pull through against a team like IG in the mid game? This is going to be interesting to see. I feel like draft-wise, this very different from Mouz compared to IG, but more stable.
Yeah, I mean, we had a very standard opening for IG, right? Like a Juggernaut Magnus. Like, what more could you want? You have an SF mid, pretty standard supports for the most part. But Mousesports, I had a chance to talk to Spartan. He said, hey, we're going to bring something a little different to the main stage because obviously what we're doing isn't really working out for us. So this could be what they need, right? A change up in the draft, something that is unexpected, something that IG are not maybe going to be used to, especially considering the fact that it's kind of looking like this draft is a very mid-game focused and maybe very fight-heavy. It could be that this is a little bit more aggression than IG is used to. An early glimpse is going to be able to pull back Q. Mousesports setting themselves up for an early potential first blood. Q's going to try and ease his way through the trees, but a swing from maybe next time. Finishes him off and Burning do nothing to stop it.
Great start for Mouz. Looks like it maybe caught IG a bit off guard that this was an aggressive opening as far as, I don't know if they're going to play it as a full tri-lane, but they definitely started 3 years bottom. Looking now at Madara versus XXS. This is a great matchup for the Timbersaw. Wins against most melee strength heroes. I think the lane to watch for now, though, will probably be mid, since bo3 will be putting a lot of pressure here on Pug. And this matchup, Shadowfiend versus TA, is not like it was a couple of years ago, or maybe even just 1 year ago. I'd say Shadowfiend fares a lot better in this matchup now than he did back then. And with the help of the Bounty Hunter, this could be a lane that Mousesports can help out.
So potentially we have maybe 2 of the 3 lanes being won by Mousesports, but that mid lane is going to be the one that suffers the most. You could already see the aggression that's coming out from Mouz, trying to threaten Burning as much as possible. We were talking about the Train Protector. He just seems like a very solid laning phase support, but there are some things that Juggernaut can do against that, right? Oh, Q picks up another death there. Now Burning's going to have to man fight up against the 3 of them. Skylark's actually dropping a little bit low. They're trying to fight Burning as best as possible. A Fairy Fire pop. Burning realizes he's in over his head. That's going to be a twofer for Mouz. bo3 unable to find Skylark in time. He gets the full healing salve off. And Mouz, hey, they said they were going to bring something different. They're already starting off a strong laning phase.
You think a tri-lane with Beastmaster is different? That's quite different.
Yeah, it's a little bit different, right? Yeah, you've got the... we've seen this maybe like once or twice, you know, with the attack speed aura, people trying to take advantage of the strong laning phase that Beastmaster is able to offer if he just is able to kind of even the odds. But I think what's potentially even better, right, is that top lane that we haven't really mentioned too much. But we've got a 1v1 Timbersaw versus a melee strength hero. That's always going to go well.
Yeah, Magnus is a bit different than other melee strength heroes in his really good damage at the beginning with Empower, and of course you have a spell that you can farm with Timber is pressing you a lot. You will definitely still get a decent amount, but I am expecting Timber to eventually probably come out on top in this lane. Do want to mention as well, by the way, this bottom lane, great play from Skylark, baiting in and then ultimately having the Fairy Fire. It's an item we almost never see used anymore. Skylark is probably the biggest fan of this item in the entire competitive Dota team. I feel like he buys it significantly more than even the second most. From any player. I feel like when Skylark plays Batrider, he'll gladly play like double Fairy. In this game, he's playing a single one on Beast.
Do you think he just puts a lot of focus on winning that like one little fight, right?
Yes.
As an offlaner, if you can win that one fight, the lane is kind of won for you because you get boots and everything from there. But so the Fairy Fire is giving you that little bit of lopsided offense.
Yeah, he plays a bait in a lot of the games. That's why it's so good on Batrider, because when Batrider starts dropping low and you think you have him, if he just survives that little bit longer with Firefly and Napalm running, you might turn it into a kill, can completely change the entire pace of the early game if Batrider gets a good start. And in this case with the beat, pretty sure he would have died there to Burning if not with the Fairy Fire. And as mentioned, if there's an item that kind of falls out of favor and people don't run it, not as active in your, have the presence of mind all the time to think about these things, and it's not something you're paying too much attention to.
Now, you said this lane is going to be a bit easier for SF than it was in the past, and he had a great start thanks to the Bounty Hunter. You could see it in the CS that currently OP is sitting a bit above Thug, but the other 2 lanes are by Mouz, so it kind of evens out. You can see Mouz are really trying to use the pulse as much as possible. The Timbersaw pushing himself forward against the Magnus and then operating on that hard camp pull, trying to deny as much experience and go away from that Magnus, and we saw the same thing from their aggro trial as well.
It's looking surprisingly good for Magnus, though. I don't know if this is expected to happen when Timber especially has the safe.
Yeah.
I think a lot of Timbersaws in this something else than what Madara has done in this game. They would go for maybe an Orb of Venom and just run at the Magnus, hit him, keep using your Whirling Death to try to zone him away. But both, they're taking a bit more of a farming approach. Magnus obviously has the Shrine advantage. He's going to activate that just now. But Madara seems to be getting a little bit of an experience lead. TS is even, but he has the deny advantage on the Mag, and Mag's actually...
Maybe just a bit of efficiency. He's already there from the Shrine, pick up the Bounty Rune as well.
Don't know if this is worth it. Well, it looks pretty close, actually. It's fairly easy.
Burning, not going to be caught inside that static field. Have this thing. They're actually going to try and go on a Skylark here. Maybe next time's going to come in, but it looks like Skylark dropping low. That stun comes in for the Train Protector is just enough to give Skylark the space to be able to escape. Maybe next time is quite low, though, and he's trying to hide himself into the trees. He is going to be able to get away from bo3 just in time. So IG, their defensive tri lane, is beginning to strike back, but hasn't yet managed to pick up a score. And Mouz, they still had that off lane trying to work off of, so this is going to go bad for IG.
Surprised to see maybe next time going for them. Felt pretty useless there as well. You know, you just get immediately removed by the Juggernaut.
But so is Leech Seed against Jug, right?
On the Jugger, but on every other hero, the Leech Seed gives kill potential. Maybe the read here from Mouz is that IG will not be out of position hero, so the opportunity won't present itself. Just maybe showing some respect to the core players IG in that sense.
Space. Maybe next time set up a trap. They are going to be able to slow him down. He doesn't have that Leech Seed, though. Now he picks it up. Just picked up his level 3 off the neutrals. Perfect timing. Skylark's here with the slow from the boars. That'll make it an easy 4 kills. First 6 minutes of the
with
game.
Their courier here. Trian's bash does work on it. It's obviously very short duration one, but probably gonna see. Actually not paying attention. But Mouz, oh there we go. But Mouz are not good. Still, great early laning stage from. I feel like they're lined up to an extent maybe easier. As far as the teak fight potential goes, they do have obviously Overgrowth and the Static Storm. I would say, you know, as far as AoE lockdown goes, Overgrowth falls off pretty quickly, actually, against heroes like Juggernaut and Shadow Fiend that both want to buy either Manta or BKB. So parts are good for them.
Forced out the spin. Burning only able to pick up one of those boards. He's now going to be locked inside the static field, but they're going to battle it back, putting some damage onto Skylark to make sure he does not threaten Burning's life. Now, our Magnus actually not leveling RP at level 6 is so far trying to give himself as much laning base as possible. For me, I thought because the defensive tri-lane of IG was suffering, we might see an early rotation from XXS and try and do something. But do you think Magnus just isn't that kind of hero? It's not a Clockwork or something like that that is able to offset an aggro tri-lane? It needs to focus more on farming?
I definitely think it's a possibility. It just seems like IG are pretty comfortable with their safe lane right now. They know Burning isn't getting full free farm, but the read is probably, you know, XXS is having a decent time at the very. I would like to see. Oh, wait a second.
Kind of caught, but they are going to be able to go on a Skylark. It looks like that should be a kill. Skylark's going to be run down by Burning, and Q is going to be run down inevitably by maybe next time. But picking up the core is way more important and forcing Spartan out of the lane.
Good trade for IG here. Get their first kill on the board. They trade their Crystal Maiden support, Beastmaster. CM has already had a pretty tough laning stage. He's died 4 times here at mid 7. Her relative value compared to the Beastmaster definitely favors. And now that the Shrine is due and IG are starting to find some footing down here, I feel like this aggressive tri-lane for Mousesports has done what it was supposed to next time with Burning. And really, I don't think they can stay down here. Burning will close in on level 6, and I think this aggressive tri-lane will just fall flat at that point. Good read for Mouz here, starting to rotate around. They're moving Disruptor, and it might go bottom again, but Disruptor at least mid. Oh, Thug. No kill was.
Thug able to take advantage of that. Success building towards his early Blink Dagger. And this is one of the things, right, is even if Burning Sparn suffers somewhat, IG have already made the read that they're going to be able to make the comeback in the laning a bit later on. And they're going to have that Empower to work off of, right? That'll kind of boost the Juggernaut through that 15-minute window. He can easily make a comeback in that one.
Absolutely. Very classic stuff when they're running this mag. What makes the hero so powerful in something like an off-lane role, you have, even if the other lanes don't go best you would expect, you can still, like you said, you can come back with a power, you have the team fight ability off the off-laner, and even an off-laner that, should the game go long enough, actually scales really well compared to a lot of other heroes that you have to do. For example, if you could pay net worth Magnus and Beast, you can make cases for both, they have good strengths, but it's definitely not gold wasted on a Magnus. He can... Oh, nice. RP top.
They're going to be able to jump in from OP with that magic damage. They make short work of Madara. 2-5 now in 9 minutes.
Very nice play. It looked like XXS was already calling. I know I'm going to get this RP. Just start TPing in. He was already in position when the RP landed. They skewer in. Get a quick pick there on Madara.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Saw the two cores kind of preoccupied up at the top lane, thinking maybe they can have a go at bottom, trying to get the bounce on it, but one step ahead. It's looking real good for IG right now. The kill on the Timbersaw now puts the Magnus ahead at 4,200 net worth, seconded by SF. So despite the 1v1s that Mouz were trying to force, it actually seems like IG had managed to come ahead.
Shadow Fiend currently out farming the Timber. TA has the advantage of being better at clearing ancient, so her CS will be worth a little more relatively, but the Shadow Fiend kill he found on top of the Timbersaw actually gives him full level advantage on Thug at the current higher CS. He even has an Invictus rune. He can solo kill this TA. The wave probably looks to pressure the tower as TA will want to retreat, farm up.
Radiant's top
give
tower
OP the opportunity to do a lot of damage mid.
Yeah, there's the Omni Slash. They're going to be able to get that kill. I thought maybe bo3 would be able to get the kill on the TA, but Thug making sure he's not caught. Nice static storm, static field combination. They're going to be able to catch it inside of that one. Should be able to blow him up. OP trying to get whatever damage he can, but his Death Requiem will not be enough to bring Thug down.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Probably the highest value kill they can find. Clearly better than killing the Juggernaut. Not only do you kill the Shadow Fiend, but your mid-hero TA is involved in it. Neck and neck now with OP.
Take a knockdown on his souls as well, and that's going to make it harder for the SF, right? Dealing with the TA.
What we're seeing right now as well is one of the really big advantages of safe lane Timbersaw. Just constant pressure on the tower. You can think a bit of it as a Dragon Knight in the sense that, you know, if you leave the lane, you'll just keep pushing and he won't stop until the tower falls. Just because he can tank it himself with reaction. Go for a skewer.
Well, bo3's there to be able to slow him down, so they're going to try. They won't have a skewer backwards, but they'll stop his Timber Chain. Double nuke from OP, finish him off.
That was a really well executed. I thought he got far enough away with that Timber Chain. Only level 1. Can't travel too far, can't travel too fast.
Talking about that chip damage you referred to from the Timbersaw, right? How he inevitably takes his tower in 1v1s. That is one thing that IG will not be able to play off of, right? Because big factor in this screen protection. Do you think that's one of the many reasons that we're seeing so much tree is that there seems to be a little bit more focus on split pushing and, you know, kind of chipping away at towers rather than these 5-man pushes. No, I missed it. What happened?
Burning just casually ran by a tree and called it, and that was the one MNT. He lost his invis and couldn't match. Oh well, unfortunate. Oh yeah, but I agree for sure. Like the living armor is a really big deal. Defending towers has been a big part of Dota.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
It's becoming more and more important, I would say, over the last 2 years. Like putting way more emphasis on not losing map control. So a hero like protecting towers is absolutely great. And
Radiant's
I would say overall,
is under attack.
the changes to towers or how they get armor nearby, etc. It's a lot harder to knock them down, and split pushing especially is way less effective. Most treants, however, we do see max nations and guides versus the important. And as a result, live armor comes quite a bit later. So there is a window right now for IG where they could try to group up their Juggernaut and Shadow Fiend in the lane tower if they can make one quick more. That could turn into tower kill in mid, for example.
Dire's middle tower is
and that would be the most important tower that they could possibly get, right? It's like IG, if they've given up their side lane tower, that's okay for the time being, but you've got to put some emphasis on defending your mid.
Radiant's bottom tower
you can't
is
really
under
keep
attack.
As far as IG go, they have key items that are now available, the Magnus Blink Dagger and the Balls. where they want to make plays. Oh, Madara is in trouble again.
Round 3. They've got the magic damage, but a static storm catches them. Spartan lays the trap. Madara is the bait. They're going to be able to collect 2 off of that one, but it might be too much. Burning here, he bounced over to Spartan, trying to run down. Madara will be able to get him with the spin, though. And so that ends up being a 1-for-2 exchange. Well played by Spartan. And Madara kind of leading that whole entire trap up, but IG, they did bring the forces necessary to still kill that ever-present Timbersaw.
At the same time, though, it still ends up being a 2-for-1. Skylark is pushing out the bottom lane. It's one of the strengths of Beastmaster is his constant pressure. That's why we see them often going for this Vladimir build-up just to be able to connect on the bounty. But it's very clear that IG are being pressured really hard in this game. They always seem to be on the defense side, with their lanes being shoved in.
Dire's top
Until
tower
they
is under
start finding
attack.
their own open. I see Mouse having better. It's time for the Shadow Blade of Shadow Fiend to maybe connect with RP, but they still have. They didn't use that for the turret kill, which is very important.
Right.
This is a key cooler right now. I once again would really like to see this mid play come out. Smoke has and big benefit of Treant and Bounty Hunter both exceptional at warding. Just look at how much Mouz have in the Radiant jungle. And vice versa, in the Dire jungle, there's aggressive wards me out from the Bounty Hunter.
They might
Play
even
them
be
on
able
the
to...
Here comes the push.
And this is just not going to be
Radiant's
defended in
bottom
time by
tower is under
Mouz.
attack.
So a big objective pickup for IG, being able to bully down that mid tower
Look
before
at
the
bottom,
living
though.
armor.
This is really hurting. Skylark is taking 2/3 of a tower so far, just standing next to the core, so he's not exposing himself. Cores are dealing really significant. Almost took him a tower while they were mid.
Yeah, they are still giving that one up, though, because they actually smoke up as a 3-man, rotate upward.
It just feels really obvious, right?
Yeah.
You have the Beastmaster who almost took a tower bottom. You know IG just took the one mid. You see Mousesports avoiding them at
Radiant's
every
bottom
turn.
tower
Yeah, there's only
is
2
under
ways
attack.
this rotation's going to work. And that kind of smoke, maybe they go bottom and try and catch Skylark, but they've already known. Like, they've got the
Radiant's
scouting heroes
bottom
set in
tower
position to
has
be able to
fallen.
intercept that smoke if they did get close. So they knew, if nobody's popping that smoke in the bottom lane, it's got to be top. Avoid it entirely, take the tier bottom lane. There is still that mid tower. You could see Spartan wants to make a play for it now.
This is actually
I'll take that.
really good grip on the Dire on the Radiant jungle. Again, one defensive ward in the
Radiant's
They have a
middle
bit of a
tower is under attack.
but I don't know if
Radiant
IG feel like they're set up to take this fight.
structures
Juggernaut's not
Dire's top
yet,
tower
and
is under attack.
but then he'll only have one spell. Actually, yeah. Great position.
XS setting up, but maybe
Radiant's
99
middle
has
tower
all the
is
kind of
under
vision.
attack.
He's spotted by the counter where they're going to try and blow him up real quickly. Nice! Skewer backwards from XXS. Unable to get off that
Dire's
overgrowth,
top
so
tower is under
Tree and
attack.
Protector will not be able to save himself, but Mouz do manage to take that tier 1
Dire's
tower mid.
structures
They
are
lost the
fortified.
courier in the process though, but Boca went in mid, so fair trade-off for IG. They actually
They want to get some Bloodstone charges onto the Timbersaw. They'll find it too. You can see Mouz still maintaining a good spread of all their heroes, though, under the threat of XXS's potential RP with an SF ready to go with that AoE damage.
They knew Burning had to keep key in to join that fight and outnumber them, and they see him pushing their top power, so just trying to get whatever advantage to get that kill on.
Now, the next objective has got to be Roshan, right, for Mouz. Tier 2s are going to be a little bit difficult to continue to push down, and they've created a lot of map control by taking away all those outer towers.
It's going to be really interesting, this progression. Like some heroes right now, maybe a VK. Treant, however, is on phase boost. Valiant, I like seeing this. Maybe I'm wrong, but or maybe not even up for minus. But when he's going for this medallion build, he has the great mobility to get in and get a good overclock and a guys. And compared to the past,
A gift from the tempest of
get the
battle.
mono region 10. He has the mono region
Radiant's
medallion.
middle tower is under attack.
You can use phase boost to still stay in this, right? So you can actually, this kind of increases your range, right? Of being able to run away from a tree and bop someone on the head and get that stun.
When he
We've seen the
activates
way they
phase-
use blink daggers that way.
Currently, when he activates phase, 500. That's with level 2. That reaches level 4, he's actually very, very easy. Of course, being able to constantly incredible when you have a 2.2 second stun on a 3-second cooldown.
Yeah.
Pretty absurd. Mark will actually get a really, really quick level 10 here on the Disruptor. Very impressive. Cast range OPM. Various choices of card.
This kind of backs up the idea that Mouz are bringing to this, right? Very mid-game focus. Not really a whole lot of outs when it comes to late game. We haven't seen a kind of Midas picked up by them yet. So this is very much an all-in play for the mid-game. And IG, this is probably going to be one of their toughest weathering points, right? They've just got to weather through this tough mid-game that Mousesports is going to be much stronger than.
They kind of figured out that Mousesports are where they are. And they're backing off from the smoke, and Mouz just big road. Very nice, very quick play. Yeah, but they are in no position.
Early Deso and that medallion, and then pretty short work of that Roach.
This is such a Mousesports plan with playing Thug of the TA, and they have Scarlock and BC.
Oh, but the RP comes in. They manage to catch 3, pull 2 back, and that's going to be laid waste as the AoE damage comes in from IG. They got Skylark and Spartan's Disruptor. They didn't get either one of the real value kills in the Timbersaw or the Templar Assassins, but still, big play by IG.
XXS on Magnus has had a couple of misplays in this tournament where he gets a really good RP but doesn't get his timing is a slight bit, and because of that doesn't get Madara. He got him in the RP. The RP was fantastic, and that would have been a triple kill if he managed to bring in Madara. I don't see any way out for him. So like you said, no cores die for Mouz. Or, well, Beastmaster, not
the lesser
one
of
the
the
two
3,
big
right?
ones.
Yeah.
So they can, well, lucky for that. IG are definitely not, they're not sitting back and waiting for Mouz to push with Aegis. They're trying to take whatever advantages they can find, and that was...
A couple ultimates there, so I wouldn't be surprised. Mouz still have the Aegis. It's time to take the rest of those tier 2s, right?
It's time to, at the very least, get one while our kids. G won't even bother trying. Very unlikely that they will. Like, so more than likely they have this ring. Okay, Timber and Tierra on top. Get as much push out on bottom as you can with Juggernaut. Shadow being pushed mid.
Boba3, he's been standing in this area. He knew, hey, they're all pushing top lane. That courier's going to be funneling back and forth. If I just wait out here, eventually a courier is going to head out to them. Sure enough.
Mouz could go high ground. They have Necro Book, Aegis, no RP. This is very bold, but at the same time, for the next short amount of time, they definitely have a fighting advantage here. It's going to underpower. But they need to be very careful now. IG are set up. Burning use Manta bottom and top. And he actually already has to be. That's an instant, another instant removal of the living armor. Good way to put a lot of pressure on the as well.
Even the supports can't even rely on say it goes set for being pressed on that Omni Slash. Maybe next time, and Spark are going to have good awareness of that. You can see this Bounty Hunter really hasn't managed to be super successful for them. Mouz have been in such good control of the game, they haven't really racked up those big bounty kills. And that's going to be hard, right? The Bounty Hunter is very much a hit-or-miss hero in that regard. If you don't get the track gold flowing, then Bounty Hunter essentially comes in mid-game as a crappy support.
I would say overall in this game, though, like, the track hasn't been too good to play, but he's got 2 couriers.
That's true, that's true.
If you're a Bounty Hunter, there's like 2... There's 3 things you want to happen in the game. You want to get kills in the laning stage if possible, you want to kill couriers, and you want to get track. That's it. And I feel like he actually accomplished 2 of those. The track we haven't really seen play that big of a role, but every courier kill is actually more valuable than a track kill on a, at least on a support, because Bounty himself gets a lot of experience. Level 9, soon to be 10, got a full medallion, crests, and bought a gem. Mouz looking for the map control.
Spotted there.
They could have popped the Necro Book there with Skylark, and that would have been a key. Oh. He got a really good ward out here. I'm imagining for later, or just the courier snipe ward again. Yeah. Very even game now. Mouz seem like they seem a bit pressured. Like them to try to get the while they still have
under attack.
Left on it though, about a minute. They are worried about IG looking for them. But IG are just fine.
Back. I mean, that's the thing, right? Is that we know Mousesports are going to have a good mid game, but late game is a pretty clear advantage for IG, right? They've got Magnus plus 2 really good scaling core. Well, meanwhile, you've got Mousesports who mostly look at mid game, right?
Yeah,
Assassin,
for sure.
Beastmaster, very mid game. So, IG, even if the net worth is maybe a bit advantage for Mouz, they have better control. It's more of just a timer game for IG.
Something that's really significant PA late game is when I think of PA, I always look at the key way you should think of the hero is that can we break refraction? Yeah, well, I mean, we break refraction.
I was about to say, what else?
Okay, so there's 2 ways, right? The one way is this classic way of picking abilities that deal damage over time, like Juggernaut.
Right.
But once you get later on in the game, you need to have heroes that can get through it through BKB. That's when TA generally hits a really big spike because your counter picks fall off. Any of those damage over time abilities won't pierce. But what IG do have in this game, they have 2 Manta carriers. Both Juggernaut and Shadow Fiend now are closing it hard. Juggernaut already has it. Shadow Fiend is opting for this Manta style over, for example, a Silver Edge against the Timber. He finds it more important that he can get out of Overgrowth and that he can hit. Even with this refraction taunt, will inevitably come 5D. I'm a meta.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have very, very quick ways of getting rid of that refraction.
And that makes sense to me, right? Is that
it's a classic
IG are
core
playing.
counter.
It's going to be a high ground game, right?
Yeah.
Like they're going to have to play for a high ground defense here. Oh, OP with his Invictus going to pop out, try and blow up Spartan, but they do manage to get the Primal Roar off. Spartan's going to be blown up by the Omni Slash with the BKB and Omni Slash used, but they want to be able to find more. There goes the Overgrowth. They really vamped it out. Going to be able to run down Skylark pretty easily. Maybe next time it's an extra kill. And IG pick up 3+2, I believe, track kills off of that.
And more importantly, they outlast the Aegis. Aegis managed to yield almost no advantage. They will get a lot of damage for a lot of these kills. The bottom tier 1 tower is surely destined to fall here. Treant is not alive with Overgrowth or armor, but now when he comes up, there's still too long time on these maps. They aren't in a position to try it. And this is one of the issues that Mousesports have. If they are not the ones engaging, they jump on, it's a lot harder to execute their team fight. Like without a good static storm, they don't control. Only Overgrowth, but there's the Manta and the BKB to play into. It just means they need to get the jump with a Primal Roar on target and just follow through and burn it after that takes Magnus is 0 that really want to go on here. And the Shadow getting BKB off there.
And that was why we both kind of had question marks about that disruptor. And Mousesports definitely, they kind of set up around the disruptor like, well, they have a lot of vision heroes. They knew they were going to be mid-game aggressive. You never want to be on the defensive if you have a disruptor. But at some point in time, IG are going to find that kind of gank that allows them to be how bad it goes for Mousesports when that occurs.
And if you look at on the defensive, if you want to use Disruptor well on the defensive, you often want to have someone set him up. Key heroes that are often great with Disruptor for high ground defense would be something like Magnus or something like Darkseer, just anything that can bring heroes together so the static storm can come up. The problem is when IG has information and have vision, they can just split their heroes up, move in from different angles, and Mouz don't have any way of bringing them together, and they don't want to Overgrowth just one hero and drop Static Storm on it. He could Manta, he could BKB on the Shadow Fiend, the Juggernaut can spin. So both of these cores are almost hard countering the 2 supports of Mouz, and again, that puts so much pressure on Skylark. He has to find the right engage. Also, just to me, it almost doesn't matter how farmed this TA is. She can't kill these heroes off of the control.
Oh, Bobaca's been found. He's also going to be dusted up, glimpsed back. He is very, very dead. So finally, all the scouting that he's been doing, I feel like he hasn't actually died that much. You know, he's accomplished a lot, sniping couriers and scouting the enemy. He hasn't actually been caught that often.
And it's interesting because you have, arguably in this game, 2 of the top 3 Invis support players of the world. I think maybe next time and Boca both are exceptional at playing this kind of style. So you would think that Mouz, by virtue of having maybe next time, would have perhaps better reads on bounty hunter movement, the courier snipes and everything, but Boca has been very successful. I think.
Where's the early gem? Do you think this is not like something that Mousesports, well, they've got it now. I feel like they only just got that recently, right?
They had it on Treant a couple minutes ago, and then he died in the fight. But I don't know how they brought it back, but they did manage to save it. Now they put it on the Beastmaster. I think they bought it while they had Aegis, and they wanted to really try to control the map, but they just didn't find the opportunity that they were looking for. I think it's the right approach. Like you were saying, their lineup needs to win in the mid game. You have to play whatever advantages you have. But to me now, it's starting to look pretty grim in terms of just setting up a favorable fight for themselves. As long as IG move as a squad like this and keep the farm going with Empower and this Shadowfiend who just naturally farms a lot. With or without Empower, this hero will get fat.
Yeah, it seems like to me, if I'm in Mousesports' position, I'm saying we have to get the Aegis and we have to take a lane of Rax with that Aegis.
Yes, they
right?
pretty much.
And we're looking at a game where Mousesports might not even be able to get that. As it is, IG are still currently sitting very aggressive. They're going to run into maybe next time. Maybe next time is going to be caught here by the Omni Slash. Oh, he actually brings over, tries to get the extra kill. You saw him try to blink over and catch the Disruptor as well, but not quite the range there. Only going to be able to get the maybe next time kill, but that is still numbers enough for IG to be able to take Roshan for themselves.
They need to be careful with this bottom lane. Scarlark has Necrobook ready now. He's definitely going to pop this here and put a lot of pressure. This tier 3 will fall very quickly. IG need to get home. Mag is TPing.
Trying to get back. The Glyph bought them a lot of time to be able to work with. He's sitting back. Skylark's trying to just give the his Necronomicon minions enough attack speed to be able to take that tier 3, but it's not enough.
They got the best out of that.
Yeah.
Half a tower is at least something, but not great. And now Spartan will be chased down here by bo3. He will have a... Okay.
A 1-2 punch from OP.
Nice damage.
Here's Spartan's fate.
Shadowfiend with Empower. Hits for 400. Fair enough.
And now we're going to have IG evening up the tower count, it looks like. If they could take mid, no, they're actually going to back off. Still afraid of that potential blitz at the bottom lane. They have another jump from Skylark. He could take that tier 3. They can't afford to unlock shrines after such a huge win taking that Aegis.
In some ways, this reminds me of the...
There's
wait
the
a second. Yep. That is a very, very big kill. And it goes to XXS. Don't think IG can take any objectives off of this. It's very far away from anything meaningful. Maybe they could cross over to mid and push this wave and get the tier 2. I'm a bit surprised Scarlark isn't immediately pouncing on this wave and pushing out mid. It's giving IG a little bit more opportunity here. Yeah, now it's being drawn out here by Spartan. We need to push this wave. They're going to go mid, but I think now it's too late. They will actually get this time. 50 seconds. The TA will not be able to defend.
You've been a captain on the losing side of things plenty of times. You see Mouz,
very nice of you
we said,
to say that.
we said that, hey, they've got to get this Aegis and take a lane of Rax with it, right? They didn't even get the Aegis.
No.
You're in this position as a captain. What do you look for? What's your next timing as Mousesports?
Well, the next timing was Roche, but they didn't get it.
Right.
So now, honestly, they don't really have much choice. They have to defend their high ground for now, obviously, but there's no TA, so they're going to lose a lane of Rax here, I would imagine.
Yeah.
If I'm the captain here, I say don't fight. Like, this fight is impossible, and if they go for it, they're going to lose the whole game. So concede your lane of barracks, just try to push out the wave as much as you can with the Timber Saw. Living Armor is holding what it can, but as a very minimum, this tower is down.
Yeah, they do have Skylark on the bottom lane, so it looks like IG are going to be forced back off of that one.
This is, again, in my opinion, the absolute best play Mousesports have. Try to defend, try to split push at the same time, and at least disperse the push in that way. But that fight is impossible to take. So if you're Mouz now, you look to keep playing the split push kind of game with Beastmaster. I think Skylark has the right idea just to almost set up camp down here.
Yep.
Just wait for the wave to push in and then be able to push it back. You have to wait for a moment of opportunity. The Aegis needs to expire. And ideally, maybe you get either a set of Boots of Travel on the Timbersaw, for example, so Beastmaster can actually start getting picks, or you set up more than one hero down there. You set the Beastmaster down there with a +1 so that you can turn it into a kill. And still, you need to show presence on the other lane so IG split up, because else they're free to keep moving together as a group. If there's no pressure coming in on their waves, they can be like, whatever, you know, if this top wave, if there's creeps hitting creeps, who cares? Like, just leave the lane.
Yep.
Let it be there. And look for plays elsewhere. And you see IG have a very clear-cut plan of sticking together as a unit.
Yeah, I feel like
up way less than Mouz over the course of this game.
Yeah, I feel like IG have just been constantly sitting on top of each other, and it has meant they've conceded a lot of these outer towers just pretty much for free, but it's meant that they've also never been in a bad situation where all the single target damage that Mouz have with Beastmaster, TA, it's never blown up a big core and gotten the big pick that could lead to so much more.
Mouz now actually going to look for a high ground siege. I think this is not the Aegis is still in the hands of Juggernaut. Oh, actually, with
quick damage. The Shadow Blade, Static Storm, that wasn't it. They might be able to catch Skylark here. Skylark actually turns around, gets off that Primal Roar, but he's going to be caught by XXS.
That's a gem drop. That's a really big deal.
You could see maybe next time try to maybe think about going forward and getting that one. OP, you going to let it go? No, he's not. XXS didn't catch him.
Boboka's already on the hunt here. If Madara stays here and farms another camp, they already have the vision, so information is there. Madara will also farm this one. They're a bit too far away. Actually, he's getting kicked out here, so Madara will be able to escape more than likely.
Mouz quick to try and push out the bottom lane fast enough to keep their map control, but it's looking like IG may be able to take another objective, that tier 2, a top lane maybe, before the push comes in. No, they're going to back up. Again, sticking together.
This game, in a way, is reminding me of a game of the group stage where IG faced EG in that game, and IG had more of a team fight oriented lineup, and EG were playing Beastmaster with IO and Invoker, so they had like really hard split push.
Yep.
And they were looking for kills with this Beastmaster, and IG were playing a similar group up style. The issue that Mousesports have in this game compared to EG is that they don't have an IO. I feel like it would change the entire dynamic of the game in this game if Mouz had one, Ciatrian. Because then they would be able to play the split push way more effectively, but it's a lot harder for the heroes to move around the map. When you don't have travels on Timber or TA, Beastmaster just doesn't have the same threat to them on the map. They need to keep farming and keep showing on waves that are being pushed in and give information. There's always the Bounty Hunter X factor. Does he see me, does he not? You don't really know what you're up against. And IG did end up coming up on top in that EG game, but that was very close. And the reason I felt like it was close was, first of all, in my opinion, EG played a great game, and they had more tools. I feel like Mousesports' tools are like semi-broken at this point.
Like, they had the split push. It kind of played out for the first 25 minutes, but now they have no team fight, really. I mean, you could see they're willing to use these RPs and on these slashes. They're not worrying about the cooldown whatsoever, because if you look at the Mousesports lineup, their only real semblance of strong team fight is Static Storm that's countered out by BKB and Timbersaw, who also can put out damage with that magic immunity.
Yeah,
so
BKB is a really big deal in this game. The only hero who will really kill anything through it is the TA, but as we mentioned before, she's not really safe in these fights. It's hard for Thug to commit with confidence. You can see it on the kill score as well. He's 1-1-1. Like, the fights that Mousesports have been able to find have not really involved his Templar Assassin very much. And I don't think he's played a bad game. I think it's just difficult to get into the kind of fights he wants.
It felt exciting in a way, watching, you know, Mouz and seeing like, oh, they're taking all this control, but it really does seem like IG, they just made the read, and they're like, everything that they're taking, it doesn't matter, because all we have to do is stick together, make sure we don't get into really nasty fights in the early game, and as soon as we hit our mid game, as soon as we hit BKBs, as soon as we have Mantas, those two items just kill their lineup. And now we're seeing Mousesports struggling. They're kind of ratting things out. They're hoping to be able to force IG to split up, but it's just never happening. IG daring Mousesports to ever face this 5-on-5.
Something that could potentially get interesting would be if we saw a Hex come out on Mousesports from the Timber. I think that could maybe shift things a bit. I do not believe there's any Lotus available. They don't have a Lotus Orb. They're also not building into one as it looks right now. So that could maybe give them an opportunity to get some more picks and to set up a fight on their terms. The issue is, as you mentioned, like, this Timbersaw has a lot of net worth, but it's really useless right now. Like, his net worth is very hard to put into play. He has some really big items. He has the Lotus Orb himself. He has a Shiva's Guard, but this hero is only magical damage right now. Now there's going to be even an Aghanim Scepter coming out. His damage output is huge, but it doesn't pay off unless they can set up the fight for him.
Now that suggests to me, though, is there a timing that swings back in a Mousesports' favor when the BKBs start wearing low? Do you think ever that a 5-second BKB is just not enough, and finally we will see the impact of, you know, the Disruptor and the Timbersaw once again in this game? Because it feels like to me, with the suggestibilities going instead of the side, that he does feel like there is going to be another swing back in his favor that he can take advantage of.
The problem is, so one of the quote-unquote BKBs is Juggernaut's spin,
right? And
that's free. So he's had that the whole time. And Shadowfiend's BKB is 9 seconds, and because Mousesports aren't able to set up fights, the chance for this BKB to drop low is very little. IG are just playing their advantage. They keep pushing and controlling the map now. They're farming out. And ultimately, the way this game is going, I could totally imagine there being one more BKB users here in the whole game. And that's a deciding fight that IG either take at Roche or in the Mousesports base with the next Aegis, and they win. So realistically, that plan is unlikely to be successful. But at the same time, you don't have so much else to play for here. He's going to go for Octarine, it looks like, on Timber. Once again, I think Hex is the best chance they have left. But
Blink Scythe and just see if you can get the right initiation.
Yeah, because realistically, the Beastmaster is not going to be able to do it all on his own. You have to have some sort of control here to set things up.
Spartan with his Blink, he kind of leads the way there with a smoke.
Axe Disruptor is a wild card as well. We haven't talked about that yet. He's only 4,000 gold away.
Kind of wish you had gone back for that
5.
60 GPM talent now.
Yeah. That would have helped a bit, at least.
Yeah.
But
but that wasn't the game plan, right? Like, Mousesports, we're operating on a plan B when there was no plan B to begin with.
Exactly. Like, I don't blame him for this choice. I also think 60 GPM is fairly weak overall. It's not that much when you look at the grand scheme of things. Like, in this game, how much would it have yielded him? He got level 10 at about...
Maybe 1,500 by now or something like that. Not a whole lot.
Not even, I think. When did he get the talent? I think he got the talent at around minute 20.
We said it was pretty early, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was level 19. He had level 10, maybe. Something like that. So there's been 20 minutes since then. That's 1,200 gold. Yeah, close enough. So, yeah.
But the point is, it wouldn't be close to it.
Not enough. And he is going for a Blink Dagger. I really like this build and Disruptor in general. I think you could say it's counterintuitive. You already have a spell that has 2 billion range, but now it has 2 billion plus 1,200. But it's just so he can set up the Static Storm. Once again, he can't rely on his teammates to set up the perfect Static Storm, so he needs to just hope that an opportunity presents itself where he can set up himself. And you need a Blink Dagger for that. There's no other.
It's got to be the endgame Aegis for IG, and Mouz cannot afford to give it up. They're going to get him up to the cliff. Nice play there. But on the right-hand side, they are going to be able to get the Primal War, trying to blow up Burning. They do manage to get the silence onto him, but they need damage to be able to finish him off. Here comes Madara, but OP's already laid out the big one, lays out that ultimate, has already finished off 2 members of Mouz, and ends up fighting against Madara. Decides against it, though. Backing away, IG read that this is potentially a fight that could still go bad. Now they go back in, trying to blow up Q. Thug is able to pick up that one, but an Omni Slash is going to be able to take his life in return, and now that leaves IG just with a Timber Saw to be able to finish up. They have a buyback already. Thug is going to try and take advantage as IG move forward, but it looks like a quick call from IG has already forced them back, and they're going to lose no real big heroes for that fight whatsoever. Their 2 supports went down, and a buyback from the TA results in nothing.
It says a lot that Madara, who is a 5-slotted Timber, or 4.5, got 600 gold for going bounty hunter. That's bad news. And it's interesting. Well, they're going to get the Roach. That's what the buyback will give them here at the very least. So that's something. But again, can they say that this has to be a goal? And this is one of those moments where you're like Crash and Burn. You know, you try for a push, maybe it fails, it's over. But if you don't try, it's even worse. Like you have to try to play this moment now that you set up for yourself. But yeah, you need to consider when it comes to this game, the commentators, we can obviously always see the gold graphs and everything. The players don't have access to that, but they have access to the kill bounty. They can see in the game. Yeah. And the communication is flowing like that in the team. You're like, oh, we got 600 gold for this kill. So you try to like assess what the state of the game is based on that. You can get like a read on, okay, this kill was worth this much. The graph is probably in this area right now for us. And when you get 600 gold for a kill on a support at this point as a rich core, it points in, at the very least, a 5-digit direction, and probably a bad one.
Great RP from XXS, recognizing that Thug was the real threat. If they lost Burning inside of that Static Storm, the fight could have just gone real terrible for IG. So he locks down that primary damage dealer, and Madara, the Timber Saw, just couldn't get there fast enough to take the Juggernaut's life, and saving Burning ends up resulting in Thug dying a little bit later on to that Omni Slash.
I'm wondering, speaking of Burning, if he's going to consider BKB. I was thinking it could be something on his mind earlier in the game. He did go for the Eye of Scotty now. That fight looked a little bit scary, because if he dies, it can be hard. If he has BKB, I just don't see him dying. It's almost impossible.
Yeah, literally the only way is just an Axe from Disruptor, and we know that's not coming anytime soon.
Yeah, so it could be an option, but I think Burning feels very confident in his team, and now with this Scotty, he's a lot tankier than he was before. So the kill is difficult. I still think it is possible for Mousesports to bring him down in a roar if they combo everything on top of him, and that could set them up a fight. But they need to always be so wary of their positioning, even if it looks good and they can jump on this Juggernaut.
Yeah, they've got to all...
They can't cluster up against Mag.
Yeah, they've got to basically all funnel in and like focus down that one hero that's Primal Roar, but that just leaves easy RPs for XXS.
That is a problem in their lineup as well. They need to come in close to deal damage. TA has that problem against Magnus inherently in every game. Timbersaw, to have his maximum damage output, also needs to come in, and you want to use the Whirling Death and the Timber Chain. If you only get your Chakrams out, that's not really significant enough.
Right.
And you have your Beastmaster, who, in order to set up the Roar in the first place, probably has to blink close to the Juggernaut. So you have this like weird dynamic for Mousesports where they actually have really, really good damage, but it's so high risk for them to apply that damage in any sort of fight.
This will be an interesting change.
Look at IG's positioning, by the way.
Oh, yeah. We, like, IG, they literally just play it safe as possible, right? We saw it from the last fight. The buybacks came out. They immediately backed up. Even before the buyback, they were grouping away and just kind of like, okay, you know, let's back up. Let's see if, you know, one of them overextend or something like that. Because this is it should be a straightforward win for IG,
yes.
right? Like, they're the ones who are like 80% slated to win this game, if not more so.
More, probably. The Aegis gave a little bit of chance to Mouz, but again, I've been saying this a lot, but it really is the star of the game. Can they even get themselves in a position where they can use the advantages that they have? Right. The problem here, what is really nice for IG here, I had a bit of a laugh at it, like they're sitting 5 heroes in their base, and Mousesports is literally all their heroes on the opposite side of the map, like, what are you scared of? Obviously, IG can't see it. The moment TA shows on the top wave, they start funneling out. And they just need that little piece of information to feel safe in their lineup. And they know that, you know, sometimes it's worth giving away 1,000 or 2,000 gold, which is what happens if the enemy team is just farming jungle while you're sitting in base, you lose a bit of control. Risk reward. Right. That is what you look at if you're
looking at giving 10,000 gold away to Mouz. If you lose a fight, hey, what's bleeding away 1,000 gold while they're farming jungle?
And it's not just bleeding away 1,000 gold. They're bleeding away minutes on their Aegis.
Yeah, that's true.
So you just want to wait it out. Like, I would imagine the graph is dipping like a little bit here. It's insignificant right now, like what's happening. Mouz need to play like this for like 30 minutes, and then the game is even at this rate. So IG can take it easy, and they're obviously not going to camp in their base forever. They're waiting for the Aegis to expire, and then I would imagine we could see something like a smoke rotation. Obviously, Mag with this huge inventory. We talked about it early in the game, how Mag as a hero is very powerful, even in the offlane position, because he naturally finds farm with Empower and gets items that are high impact. He's stacked. Yeah. He has Linken's, Shadow Blade, Refresher, Blink, Force, and Arcane Boots. This is, you know, you can optimize this build a bit, but essentially he has what he needs for the next 20 minutes.
I was going to ask you if the Refresher from the Beastmaster could really change much, but it feels like it's entirely counteracted, and if not surpassed by the fact that Magnus has a Refresher as well.
I think at this point you probably have to get a Roar on the Mag, but it's difficult since he has the Linken. So Beastmaster needs to, in the blink of an eye, Blink Dagger in, use Necro Book, use the Mana Burn on the Necro Book to break the Linkens and then Roar, which is possible. It does happen from time to time, and of course they do have the Blink Glimpse as well that they can use to break the Linkens if Beastmaster is not completely alone on the engage.
Oh, this could be one of those openings. IG already trying to get together as quick as possible. Maybe they could get the Mag, but it doesn't look like it. They're not going to be in position. The smoke is going to pop onto Q. They're going to get that Primal Roar out. Immediately blinks himself away before OP can lay a hand on him. But OP, he sees this as an advantage. The Primal Roar's already wasted. Static Storm goes down. Spartan's going to be caught inside of that one. They do manage to get... Oh, there's the Juggernaut with the Refresher. Maybe they can blow him up, but OP, he's laying waste to all the other Mouz members, and they couldn't do enough damage to finish burning out. That means it's pretty much all over. Mouz are going to lose this fight. It's just a question of how many heroes are going to go down. They're going to use extra RP to finish off the Timbersaw as well. 4 end up dying in the end from Mouz. And the only one who goes down from IG is the insignificant bounty hunter at this point. IG in full control of this game. And that 80% now knocks up to 95, 99. It's a 100-second death timer on TA with no buyback in sight.
The buyback will be coming up in 20 seconds. He has to use it. He will be using this buyback, and that might make IG think twice about full committing here. They will definitely get this lane, probably a second lane as well. And then they might just be like, okay, this is good enough for now. They want to, they can push pressure for it all the way, but obviously they have 2 RPs on cooldown, and they know Roar should be coming up soon. So there's a slight advantage in that sense for Mousesports, but, well, TA, you better buy back. There's nothing to wait for.
They're sticking around. Nope, OP doesn't even wait around for that melee Rax. They read it just like you do, Sin. Burning, turning against Monterey. They do get the Roar onto him, but no damage. The Templar Assassin, not sure where he's at, but it's not there to be able to stop Burning from being able to TP away. It looks like maybe they catch Q, slowing him down with the Chakram. Madara does catch him out, trying to
They'll
drop
never
the gem.
find the
They
gem
won't
here.
see that one.
They will never find it here when I literally drop it under.
You're a clever guy, Q. Just hide it under the rock. Well,
it's a consolation prize here for Mouz. That was a
Yeah.
really, really big loss. They did manage to hold their second lane, and they can obviously heal it up here with living armor, but odds are really, really stacked against them now. RP coming up in 20 seconds, so maybe they will concede this mid-tier 2 tower. This really doesn't matter at this point, this tower.
This is a tier 2 that we talked about as an objective that Mouz needed to take with the first Aegis. Like the very first Aegis where they had all the control. Do you feel like Mouz just, like, they weren't confident enough, they weren't aggressive enough in their timing window, or did IG just play defensively well enough?
I would say Mouz could have gone for more aggression. It's scary when you're against this type of lineup. It can go very wrong, and you might be thinking in the back of your mind, if we mess up, we lose so much because we can get like team wipes or whatever. But you have to play to win, not play not to lose. And you know, if you're Mouz's lineup and you're like, okay, we just need to play safe, just farm, you're not playing to win with your lineup. It's just not happening. Now, I'm very happy to see this out of Madara. He is queuing up beside the Vice now on his Timber.
All right.
Unfortunately for me, probably too little too late. Curious to see which item he will put instead of in his inventory. Might be the Bloodstone, actually.
You know you're feeling good when the Bounty Hunter levels up the damage talent. It's like, yeah, I'm ready to right-click people.
I would say this is what you should do almost every time, actually.
Yeah.
The thing that's interesting about the Bounty Hunter, even as a support, is that this damage talent is so absurd that when you reach level 25 and have the -5 second Janata cooldown, okay, let me give you an idea of how this is. So right now, Bounty Hunter has 250 damage. When he's 25, he has 1 second cooldown on Janata. That means every hit, more or less, if he just waits a little bit, is a critical strike. So suddenly your Bounty Hunter is hitting for 600 damage over and over again.
Maybe next time's going to be found. He popped the smoke. He was sitting inside the trees. IG, they did a little super sleuthing there. Narrowed down his position. And now, look to go high ground again.
We're probably going to see a buyback from Trian. He really doesn't want to do it. He finally has the crest that he wanted to have 30 minutes ago, or at least 20.
There's a buyback. Trying to slow him down. Madara challenging OP. They get a Static Storm back, but there's the RP. Skewer out, only managed to grab the Disruptor there. On the back line, Skylark tries to get something out. Pyron finally gets a Primal Roar, but it's on a Juggernaut, but they can't get the damage down. Second RP comes out, controlling the big damage dealer of Thug. Already down to half HP. He's trying to get away with his BKB. A little bit of meld action, but Burning, running him down. Gets the kill. A Beyond Godlike for the Emperor, and Madara is left as a raid boss for OIG to lay into. He's got half HP, trying to make his way back to the fountain, but ultimately, he will die, and Mouz have no damage to stop IG from raiding their base. He comes back with round 2, pops a Shrine, still being overwhelmed by the damage of both Burning and OP queued up. He's just trying to be a punching bag, anything but the Raxes, he says, but Madara, IG will eventually move forward onto the next objective or the next kill. They jump forward, manage to get Spartan there. Burning, challenging Madara. Maybe tanky, you may have all that armor in the world, but eventually I will bring you down, my friend. Madara, Burning,
He almost
dropped a little
killed him.
low, but he has it. Rampage for Burning. IG opening up the main event in the first game with a Rampage for Burning, simply outclassing Mouz.
Nice game overall, let's say. I think it highlights to an extent why IG is one of the favorites of the tournament. I think they play something that they are very good at is staying calm under pressure and making the right decisions. They've had games that looked like they were really grim. One of the games in the group stage, they had, I can't remember what team they were facing. It was OG. They were facing OG. They were down 20 kills, and Burning was just split pushing and farming with Anti-Mage.